Hi all. This one will be a little bit weird because I will try to maybe summarize what I know, and in the process I will create even more questions. Which stats we should be aiming for on every single item? This is my first personal question. But to be a little bit more specific, there are stats like fire resistance, lightning resistance, and cold resistance, even the chaos one. But on which items we should be chasing those resistances? Do the belt needs chaos resistance or not? In the last video, you guys were awesome in the comments. I learned so much from you, so I would like to share some knowledge you shared with me. So if you are a beginner in the Path of Exile or even the veteran one, you will still find something in the video that will be interesting for you. Okay, first topic are resistances. As you already know, 75 is maximum, but in order to get more, you will need to find something like this. For example, a javel can roll with increase to all maximum elemental resistances. And this is especially, I didn't know about this one, but I think it's quite useful to go for this. Because, as you can see, it's not only 1% to all, but even the 1% to maximum fire, or let's say lightning or cold. So that way, if you have your talent tree and if you have passive javel slots, let's say you have 3, 4, or 4, you can get to 80% or maybe even more from every single resistance. And I think this is really good. This can actually save you from being bullied by the enemies. Before these javels, I thought only the body armor can have +1 increase to all elemental resistances, which is actually implicit. So if I go to search, it's this one, this chest. So with this information, there is actually one question that pop up in my mind, and that is really interesting one. You know, there are multiple implicits on your armor, and you know you want to cap your resistances, even the chaos one. So question is, which type of armor should have a chaos resistance on it? Why am I asking? Because there are multiple of flat resistances we need to fill in. There are multiple +2 level of all melee skills or spell skills that we need to fit in. And also there are stats like adds physical damage to attacks or spell. So the armor can have an implicit stats, and sometimes they are very powerful. For example, I found the chest piece with maybe 13 chaos resistance, as well as rings can have a 13 chaos resistance. I'm showing you 1 to 4 physical damage to attacks, but that stat is implicit and can be rolled with different things. So really my question is, for every single build, I think there might be some optimal way to approach this issue, because there are so many options, and as a beginner I honestly have no idea if my neck should have a mana increase or if it should have a spirit, maximum spirit, or rather rarity of items, which is the whole new topic. So those were implicits, but let me summarize what I already know. I think everybody knows, and maybe it is well known in the community, but let me state this correctly. Every single gear piece should have maximum life on it. Of course, it can be rolled as a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I don't think we should aim for tier 4 at all. So that way we can have a good health pool. A lot of people like to have a flask that applies healing instantly. So if you go to life flags, level 60 minimum, explicit recovery applied instantly, it's pretty cheap. You have like 25% or 30 at top. Alright, so there is a charm. A charm can have a guard. A guard is basically a shield which can have a 400 57 HP, and you will have it for 3 seconds for the duration of the charm when the charm is used. I think charms are quite handy. In the dire situation, they can protect you from harm. Now let's talk about the spirit. So far, I think chest piece can roll only with 61 spirit at the most. You will not find 62, as I understand. And the second is the amulet, which can roll with, let's see, implicit can be plus 18 and explicit plus 59. So let's go 61 plus 59 plus 18 is 138 spirit. Is that 138 at the most spirit you can have additional from the equipment? Maybe there is some javel, maybe there is, I don't know, some talent tree, or maybe some special, most likely I know there are some special legendaries that are providing spirit, but not a traditional way. For example, you can have spirit if you have energy shield or intelligence, and will calculate the spirit amount based on that. I'm not sure. You need to know those things, and I don't, unfortunately. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, just let me know, because I'm not a guru. Yeah, I need to learn. I don't know if I will address this correctly, but let's say you have a resistance on the hand and you have 40, 42, 43. Now, a question is, do you actually need 43 in order to fill your 75 or let's say 76, 80% top? Now, this is really like interesting because I haven't been there to that kind of late game. I know there is TR1 resistance that can roll with 45 maybe at the top. It's very rare, but I've seen 43 or 42. Now, with this question, there is one as well connected, and that is maybe this is very silly. Maybe I'm silly, but sorry to ask that. Should I aim for fire resistance on the chest? Should I aim for the cold resistance on the gloves? Or the belt needs to have fire? You know what I mean. I'm switching constantly equipment. And when I'm switching, I need to invest again to all our pieces that I already have sometimes because I need to feel the resistance. This is mandatory. So it would be nice to have some kind of mindset that the gloves always needs to have lightning. You know what I mean? Or the gloves always needs to have 2 resistances, not only 1. That way I can remember that when I'm changing boots, that boots needs to have only fire resistance inside or only lightning resistance. This is very complicated, but I don't know if this is possible or not. And I find myself always struggling when I'm trying to switch a gear. So if there is some guide that explains which item should have which stats, like okay, chaos is really easy, but maybe not that easy, because are you aiming to have chaos resistance on the belt always? Do you aim to have chaos on the helmet or boots or maybe hands? Because main question is there a piece of the gear that have a smaller chance to roll a good roll of the chaos resistance on it? So that means when I go to the market and I try to find a chest piece that have some chaos resistance on it, it is very most likely be quite expensive one or very hard to find. But let's go to the next one, is connected with the skills. By default, you can drop a level 20 skill gems. I have it here. I have only level 18 skill gems, but if you boost the map, if you boost it with irradiated, pretty much, and when you find a map that has +1 of the level of the enemies, you can even drop skill gems that have 20 level, which is the highest one. So this is something you should be aiming for, and gear wise, you can also have a +2 to all melee skills, or +2 or +3 to only spells skills, and this is very important. So let me explain. Only hands can have +2. When it comes to the weapon, you can have a +5. I honestly don't have. And necklace can have maximum +3. I think these are very rare and very useful to have, but of course you need to combine it with the resistances and health modifiers. So it's quite expensive on the end. But yeah, it's very useful to have a level 25 skill that you are using. Honestly, it will boost your damage quite a lot, but maybe you don't know about that. There is a downside. It costs a lot of mana. Every level up of your skills costs a lot of mana, and I believe you also need to have more intelligence requirements or maybe strength requirements in order to use the skill. But I don't know if it's connected with +2 that you can have on the gear, or it's just connected to level 20 gem you can obtain. Maybe it's only level 20 gem, and that way you will have requirements, let's say 130 intelligence in order to use the skill. There is a lot more I would like to talk about, but because the video is getting quite lengthy already, there will be just one small tip, and then on the next video I will be continuing with some nice ideas, nice tips I found out in order to help you and help myself to get better at the game. Also, please don't forget, you can always make a comments under the video, because I was so surprised on the last videos I posted. Guys, your knowledge is just incredible, and I was reading through all of the comments, well, mostly, and I found such a nice information about the game. Alright, and the last tip is Recombinator. So actually, what is this machine? This machine does recombinate 2 items, and you can choose which stat you want to recombinate from each item, and there will be a chance that it will not succeed and you will break all the items you invest. But you can get tier 1 stat from one item, second item, and you will have a nice baseline for your crafting. I saw many people are doing this, and why it's important, it's mostly about the drops. You find a good drop that has tier 1 health or something, and you put it inside the auction, and you can ask even 15, maybe 20, maybe 30 exiles for one single blue item with tier 1 stat. Honestly, it depends on the market, and I would like to know those specifics. When should I post which item for how much? But I think I'm still very newbie in these situations, so I cannot tell you exactly. But let's say you can earn a lot of exiles just from selling the blue items with the good rolls. Let the truth, benevolence, or forbearance guide you on your journey, and see you on the next one.